So I'm going to start by using this performer for our scientific investigation into what will evaporate water more quickly, and that's going to be our question, and we're going to brainstorm the variables and so on. But before we do that, I also want to show you that there are different types of variables. I want to introduce you to independent and dependent variables, and also controls, which are to do with the variables as well. Now, the difference between independent and dependent variables is that the independent variable is what you decide to change in the experiment. You want to isolate the thing you want to change to know that it's making the difference. And the dependent variable is what you observe or what you measure. And in this case, it's going to be how much water is evaporating. And the controls, of course, are all those variables that we want to keep the same and not change, so we know that it's that independent variable that's making the difference. Using that pro forma, we've managed to get our plan together for an investigation. What is it we're trying to solve? We want to know what might make water evaporate more quickly. And the variables, the ideas, the things, the possibilities are things like the amount of water, the shape of the container, the temperature, the light, the wind, the air movement, whether it's inside or outside, and there's probably many more that you could think of too, which could go in there. The dependent variable, the things that we want to measure and to observe, is how much water evaporates over time, and we could probably measure that by the depth or the volume of the water in the containers. Now, the independent variable is what we decide to change, and the ones that I chose are inside and outside. That's the A one. And the B one, I'd also like to investigate whether the container shape makes a difference. But those are two separate investigations. But for each one of these, say for inside and outside, then I want to, as much as I can, keep all these other variables exactly the same. And then when I change the container shape for the second part, then I want to keep all those other variables are the same as much as I can too. And when we keep those other variables the same, we call that a control or a controlled variable. So let's get started on that.